edition of Excelsior, where we focus on enhancing excellence in education by providing real solutions to today's technical problems. Today, we're continuing our focus on educational leadership, and I want you to know that no matter what type of problems that we have in the school, there are only two kinds of problems. Every problem in a school is either adaptive or technical. Let me just take my time and walk you through this, because most principals, when we have a situation, focus with how to deal with the situation and how to handle the situation very quickly and succinctly and do the right thing for boys and girls. In doing so, you have to understand the difference between an adaptive problem and a technical problem. A technical problem is one that deals with policies and procedures. So the first thing you have to know are your policies and your procedures. When a teacher comes to you, or a parent, or a related school personnel, if they have a technical problem, it's normally going to be related to a policy or procedure. For instance, if coming to school at a certain time, there are normally policies that regulate that. Students have to check out at a certain time. There are normally policies that regulate that. Teachers' rights in the classroom, there are policies and laws that regulate that. When teachers can eat lunch, not eat lunch, their free time, there are policies that regulate that. All of those are technical kind of issues that principals need to know. Now, however, the adaptive problems are those that are more emotionally based, those that are more humanistic. For instance, if the policy says the teacher has to be at school at, say, 7:45, and which is related to policy, but he or she fails to come to work on time, maybe for various reasons. He or she may show up to work at maybe 8:15, 8:30. Well, the reasons may be adaptive. The teacher may have transportation problems. The teacher may have babysitting problems. So at that point, you have some problems that are both adaptive and technical. It's the principal's goal to be able to decipher what type of problem he or she has and to solve it so that education can continue at his or her place. So let's go back to our issue of the teacher coming late to school. If she continues to come late to school, and when you have a teacher who's coming late, I'm just using this as an example, we normally look at late in terms of a pattern. If a teacher comes to school late once, well, that's an exception. If he or she comes to school late 5 or 6 times, that's a very pronounced pattern. At some point in your own personal school rules, you need to have guidelines, technical guidelines, that are clearly set aside so the teachers know the boundaries of the number of times that they can come late, or the procedures for coming late, what to do. So let's just say that the teacher has a pattern of coming tardy to work. In your discussion with that teacher, your purpose is not necessarily to bash the teacher, but to find out what you can do as the leader to support the teacher to get to work on time, because the main focus is the education of the boys and girls. So it's real important that as you decipher through this problem, you realize that it has a technical base, but also an adaptive base, so your solution must be adaptive and technical. So your conference would start by asking the teacher what are some things that he or she could do to remedy the problem his or herself. You want the teacher to have buy-in into their own remedying of the problem, because if they own the solution, then they become caretakers of the education of boys and girls at your school. The conference shouldn't last any more than 5 or 10 minutes. The conference should be one that makes the teacher feel at ease, but also very respectful of the school culture and your position as the leader. Sometimes as leaders, we have to do things that causes teachers to grow past their point of comfort. And that's what leadership is. But we have to do it in a way that's nurturing and loving, because teachers are very caring for the most part, and they love boys and girls. So we have to continue to nurture that in teachers. So your conference has to be such that it makes teachers feel that they are accomplishing their personal goals and their professional goals. And when teachers know that leaders care, they tend to care more about their boys and girls. So as you tackle these types of solutions, realize and recognize that there are two kinds of problems, only two kinds of problems. They may manifest themselves in separate ways, but most problems are either technical, which deals with the policy or procedure, or adaptive, which means that they deal with the personal norm. You do have some problems that intertwine, and they are adaptive and technical. As the leader of your school or your place, it's your job to find out which it is, solve the problem, and be about the business of boys and girls. This is another edition of Excelsior. Have a great day.